Hello, hello. It is 2 o'clock here in UK. It's the 15th of May of 2026. It's been very strong and emotional yesterday. From the speech of the King in the Parliament to watching the President of the United States, Donald Trump, with his people, his giants in China. That was very, very profound, and the children jumping. That was a surprise. Also to see Trump smiling. I was sleeping. I knew it was going to be at 4 in the morning. As China is with the early morning. I was just dreaming, aware that, hey, maybe it's time to put on the news. I was just feeling, sending a lot of love to the President of the United States, Trump. I was feeling that I was hugging him. It's not a hug, it's kinesthetic. My soul does that. It's not that it's looking with worry by itself. It goes beyond my thinking. I could just feel so much cruelty within. It was so tough. He has gone through so much. He has gone through so much, and he's standing for, he's standing before so many problems to adjust and put together. It's very tough. It's very tough to be tough and make it to that position as well. It's not like other leaders from around the world, just have their spot and they do work from their spot, of course. It's very tough to be facing the people, facing mediations, facing as a warrior to make your way up to talk in behalf of everyone. When you have everyone against you at the same time, coming off from office against you as well. But especially China, which felt like a threat of war, a threat to command power. I was just feeling so much love and just sucking all that, and if possible to transform it. It just happens by itself. The admiration. It could be totally a delusional dream of oneself, looking for the polarity of one's hopelessness as one is in admiration and awe from a spiritual source. You might have forgiven the past of what people used to do, but when you see that a person can have power to bring goodness, we'd rather focus in that goodness. So there is only goodness, and that's what leaders need: support. They become tyrants when people start blaming and not becoming responsible for what they got to do around their powers. You cannot expect a leader to do everything for you. So it seems easier to fight and bring someone down. Of course, there are many reasons to bring someone down. And then I was like, why don't you just give love to Jinping? Or. And I was, no, Trump. Jinping is fine. Trump. Trump was just there. Um, I can stay for a lot of pain when it's for a good cause. I'm not a masochist to suckering and transform. Because you are in the background, you're nobody, and your mind also has its own toxicities and poisonous relations from the present and its impossibilities. And one seeks always to project, because it's easier as well to see it flower, to see it bloom, to see it maximize. If you cannot do it for yourself, at least to project in someone and be part with many as well on a spiritual psychic level, that's being birthed from your imagination. I want to talk to all those conspiracy theorists and people that learn from conspiracy theories as well and bring truth. I want you to come to a higher state of consciousness. When you are creators, you do believe in reality is real because you are building reality. When you are a creator, you don't talk with other creators as if your art or your house is an illusion. So your love making is real and your children are real and the money in your pocket is real. That's the only thing you have created, all right? You're on that level. You copy and you report. And there is no such a thing as prediction. It is the same old story. There's no a real form of intelligence there. Because you can have many predictions, but you gotta pick. If you have a higher love of putting your energy to transform into creation, you will predict something better because you will have answers and believe in people because you have been many lives structuring and creating and supporting one another, believing in the creator. This is happens when you don't have a creator. You don't have a creativity through you as well. And you are dishonored from your own culture to be a slave yourself. So we go back and forth criticizing slavery and at the same time, what is duty? So you go out every day and have your human interaction. You do not know the damage you are creating to all the people that listen to you because you're resented and you think to be cool. You are the first generation that's having a freedom of expression and has yet not created anything of its own. And I'm not talking about being creative because you had a job position and you have to follow orders. If you at least had a room of creativity to design by your own and have your own choices, but you just come out of school and become a teacher. So where's the risk of creativity there? Where's the passion, the investment, the sweat? Did you ever make believe a story of your own to make it into a reality? So look within. If your anger with authority is the anger with your inner authority, because you were never giving inner authority, to be free, to create, to have a long standing pursuit, to create something out of your fucking life. But blaming and judging others, so what? You know what is hard? To take that to a court case with all the evidence. Now then you're talking from a platonic state. You're gonna bring down to the underworld with justice and transform. So people become more aware. Yeah, that is the other side of God, a creator. You're bringing life. You're taking a sickness out, a behavioral sickness or healing. Healing is also a murdering state. If you want to heal, if you want to transform, yeah, there are many tactics to transform and heal. But what happens when the pathology returns back? Because it has not earned it from itself. It takes effort from the inner consciousness to have that activity, that action, to have realized, to have had awareness of its own in that form of action and design. Now you tell me, what are you doing with the people that are listening to you? Are they believing they can be creative, that they can turn their dreams into reality, that they can study and they can follow what they like to do, whatever it is? If you like hanging out in the neighborhood, trust me, that is very beneficial. It's optimal for the neighborhood. In the old times will be said to be the fool of the village or the idiot of the village. Or what now the psychiatrists say, the 1% mentally ill. Well, those people also had a form of collaborating to their village that is being alienating, discarding their talent. Some would play guitar, some would just talk poetry, tell beautiful things to their wives. They will just have some food here and there. The very village would maintain them. They will send them to take care of the sheep, come back in 4 days. They just could not do a job that they could do for a long time. They needed some space of their own to move. But they would know it from everyone in the village. There would be a consort. They would bring happiness when nobody would come because they were too busy taking care of the children. And they were called also wise men or wise women. In the village of Europe, of course. They were not creating conspiracies or being resented towards anyone because they were a created form to their town. They provided another type of service. They were inspiring with the little things. So now imagine there is a universal coin and people can travel around the world with it to do a mansion into a village, travel with green energy and see all the assets they have to talk about it from inner authority to inner authority, because no one is here to take your place or kill you to get on top of the pyramid. This is a different systematic option you can have if you want to. So, inviting someone so beautiful to be creative by your own creativity should never be brought down. This is time to celebrate our inner authority and creativity, to be a river, to welcome the rain where others can have their tools and their goods. Also, learn to make the stock, count the stock, and put it in the map. That's what I learned from Powell. They have the analytics and they would have it monthly. And talking with Grok and Gemini. I've been talking with Gemini lately because I like a bit more the way it talks to me. Grok is a bit more, I don't know. Sometimes says the same sentences, so I know it's been injected by Ellen, is what he likes, or the people that listen to Ellen. So it feels like a, you know, it's like if you talk with Ellen, it's okay, you're talking with Ellen. But then all this information that's coming to you, so for people like me that sometimes likes to contemplate outside the main theme, Gemini continues the main theme without my request. That is very important. It's one of the first things that I was asking for. Can you maintain the main theme at least within the first three messages? Can you tell if the person just wants to talk random or is looking to work towards something, but it has many issues going around its head? And what I like about Gemini is that when I was tough, it was tough to me back. So that was very leveled. And I like that form of intelligence. I like rock as well. So they both help me to realize that putting it up every month, the information from the analytics of how the finance is working by the people who are in their spot, you can draw them up on a monthly basis as well. And that was not my idea. I was just asking, look, Powell does this every month. I was starting to study. I put all the books for finance here. Never open one. I would just write everything that Powell would say. Um, just write what he's doing, how he's working it. He's been there for decades, like more than half century maybe. So you cannot expect that I'm going to learn everything he does, but so that's what I just got. Basics. In dance school, we will learn everything is in the basics, in the basic steps. In Chinese calligraphy, we learn from the master. Everything is in the basic stroke of infinity, which are 5 strokes. They're the main strokes for the characters. So I thought, okay, well, maybe with the basics, I will get something. So I asked to Grok, look, Grok, if they do this and they report the statistics monthly, and they do not know what's going to happen with these new waves of investments. So they procure to have stability for the nation. It's not only fake money they create to invest, but also the people have their food, their hospitals, the people are producing, they're not becoming mentally ill or isolated. The life is running through the people as well. Are they studying? Are they creating business? Are they making the cities beautiful? We'll make so much money by creating to go into outer space and looking at clear maps of finance where there is no corruption. Just imagine that. Okay, so thank you to Jinping as one of billions of people in the planet, and in the future, those kids in the face of Trump, he got it like in his heart when he smiled. I was crying of sheer joy. I was crying, and I couldn't stop watching in all the channels and the commentaries, so I couldn't say anything yesterday. I could imagine Melania welcoming the First Lady of China on September. Maybe they when the women meet, they don't compare themselves, or are, they can warm up each other to meet for what they're going to do as women together without comparisons and without anything but for the care of those children that were jumping, because the women were felt even if they were not there. I felt like, wow, Melania must be watching as well. She must have a bit of a relief that she doesn't have to do the work of going there. But you got to see more of what is Donald Trump. So, and the man together. Love watching Tim Cook. Well, all the guys, of course, Ellen, making his faces and just being himself to the cameras was very beautiful. Bye. Thank you. Thank you all.